Good United stand, it is build-up time. Yes, 2 games a week is well underway now. This is the nitty-gritty. This is where it gets interesting. And obviously, in games like this, we expect big team news, big changes possibly. Whole 11, I'm hearing. I'm joking, but we will bring you the team news as soon as it drops with us here in the studio. I'm joined tonight by Beth, my compadre, on these build-up shows. But, Beth, I'll leave it to you. We have got another guest on the show with us as well. Introduce our man in the know.
Yes, we have got the Godfather back in the studio. Ricky, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for the build-up, Adam.
Yes, mate, obviously. I'm going to bring you right back down to earth now, though. But yes, Crystal Palace at home. Carabao Cup. Obviously, this was our shining light last season, Beth. That one moment, we was all at Wembley. All of us here on United Stand was there. It was a great moment to see United lift silverware again. How important is it for you? And obviously, guys, in the comment section, get your thoughts on this as well. How important is this competition for you? Is it important United go out strong and defend the competition, first of all?
Well, considering the position we're already in, yeah, it is, I think. I think, obviously, there's got to be some rotations. I wouldn't want to see the whole, Eric Ten Hag's strongest 11 at the moment, and the same players, for example, the Rashford starting continuously, Højlund as well. I think there needs to be some mix-ups in the team. There needs to be rotation because of the injuries that we have had and trying to get them players back and trying to get a fully fit squad. But because we've lost quite a few games at the start of the season, for me, this is only one of the only competitions we can probably go out there and win, and we have a chance of winning. It's really important to try and get a trophy. We got one last season. It was such a lift in the fan base. It was such a good day out for everyone. So, yeah, it might be the Carabao Cup, which some would say is probably, the least shiny one to win, but it's a chance at a trophy. So we do have to go out there and try and win this game. And I do think there's players there that need to also knock on the door for a starting place. The Garnachos, the Martials, Amrabat's probably going to get his first start tonight. We don't know yet, but I'm just assuming. So we need to be able to go out there, put a strong enough team out there to win, but also make sure we rest some players as well to kind of manage the games going into this period.
That is it, exactly. We will bring you the team news as soon as it drops. We're sort of predicting, but tonight is one of them nights where everyone's just throwing their little perfect 11 into the mix. So we're just going to wait till it's fully confirmed and bring you guys that then, because we're hearing it could be anything tonight. Ricky, you've seen it all. You've won the lot. The Carabao Cup, it's a trophy. United are the holders. Is it important to you that this is United's identity, winning trophies? It's what Sir Alex always says. Is this just one of them? It's like, make no mistake, get your strong team out early, then make changes. Are you in that mould? Are you thinking that way for this?
100% I am, yeah. It's our own, if we're honest, it's our only realistic chance. Even in the FA Cup, I think the likes of City, Liverpool have come strong again. They really, really do go for it. I mean, City just, win the League Cup normally every year, let alone the FA Cup. So I think winning another trophy other than this one. City have got a tough draw, of course, Newcastle away tomorrow. So fingers crossed, if we get through tonight, they could get knocked out tomorrow and even strengthen our chances. I heard Beth say there in her little roundup that we've lost 3 games, so we're out of that trophy. But if you thought we had a chance of winning the league before
I don't.
yeah, if you thought we had a chance of winning the league before the ball was kicked. So when the season starts, you have got, look, we've got some good players. On our day, we're capable of beating City. I won't say anyone, but we did beat City last year in the league at Old Trafford. So on our day, we can beat teams. So it's in this order. Best chance is the League Cup. Second best chance is the FA Cup. Third best chance, believe it or not, is the Champions League, despite it being equally as important as the Premier League. Premier League, no chance, because it's over 38 games.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good teams there. Interesting you say there, City and Newcastle are playing tomorrow, Ricky, as well. Tottenham already out. Teams above us in the league that are obviously pulling up trees this season, maybe take their eye off the ball, and United could slip in. And
that's what happened last year. That's literally what happened last year. Let's not kid ourselves. Last year,
fall away.
We had quite a good run up until the final.
Well, I said it in my road trip, Beth. This is the 3rd season where we've not had an away domestic cup draw. The 3rd season in a row still. We've had a hell of a run at Old Trafford, and the Glazers have been lining the pockets with the gate receipts. But another one against Palace. Super chats are in. Get your super chats in, everybody, as well, if you have your main point on this. Onana, Amrabat, Varane, Maguire, Delo, Casemiro, Hannibal, Palestri, Mount, Garnacho, Martial. That's from Sultan with a super chat. Cheers very much for that, mate. I take it that's your predicted lineup. Unless you know something we don't. I don't think so, though, because no one's getting it right so far tonight. A win tonight is important to start building some momentum in what is a winnable run of games, plus a realistic chance of a good cup run. I said this before, Ricky. We was on the Twitter space before, and I wanted to come to you for this. It's like the importance of tonight. So we've beaten Burnley. It's Palace, then Brentford. Palace, Galatasaray, and Brentford. That could be 5 wins in a row going into the international break. You take that seriously, and momentum shifts completely to looking half decent again and coming back in a confident mood.
It'd be fantastic if we could win all those games, and if we had
and
to
they're
play,
all at home, mate.
Yeah, if we had to play like we played, I know it was away at Burnley, but if we had to play like that and make us difficult to beat, tough to play through, like we did, we went to Burnley with that in mind. The idea at Burnley was to keep a clean sheet, and if you keep a clean sheet, you've only got to nick one. And that's exactly what happened. I've seen a lot of people criticising the performance at Burnley. But what you need to think about is, I know they're tougher games, but in the previous 3 games, we've let 11 goals in. It's the first time we've conceded 3 in 3 consecutive games since 1978. Somehow or another, we had to shut the doors, shut the gates, if you like. And he played an extra man in a defensive position, Matt Tominey, next to Casemiro. Nobody liked it, but it got the job done, and I was completely happy with it because, okay, we didn't take them to the cleaners, we didn't play fantastic football, but we were difficult to beat. We need to be difficult to beat, and we need to be similar tonight. Palace have been a bogey team for us over the years. In recent years anyway. Didn't they nick an equaliser in injury time last year, or was it the year before? They beat us at Old Trafford pretty recently. So, they've been a bit of a bogey team. So we need to keep it tight, and I don't care if we win 1-0 so long as we get through.
You just talked about Palace being a bogey team. Now I'll come to you, Beth, because last 10 games against Palace, we've only won 4. 3 draws, 3 defeats. Even at home, we've only won 2 of the last 5.
Yeah.
So a bogey team. We did have a Palace fan on the space with us earlier on Twitter as well, though, and he is saying they are missing some key players tonight as well, though. So really, you would go into this game confident, but like Ricky said, an organised team under forgot the manager's name.
Ten Hag?
No.
Oh, Roy Hodgson.
Roy Hodgson, yes. I love Roy Hodgson as well. I can't believe I forgot his name. But yeah, under Roy Hodgson, we know what's coming. It is a very organised, solid outfit. And like Ricky said there, if it gets to like 25, 30 minutes, the mind starts to thinking, doesn't it, again?
I'm going to be honest, Palace has always been a game I don't really look forward to. It's always either a boring game or we lose or it's not a great one. I remember...
Well, it's a great game for Rick, eh?
When I was just starting off on the United stand, well, me and Mark were having like back and forths, and he asked me to send a video in about me talking about the Palace game, the game that had just been. That was like my first video that I sent to him to like kind of,
great audition,
show what. And we just lost it, and since then it just sticks in the back of my mind. Like Palace are a bogey team for us. Exactly what Ricky said. I expect us to beat Palace tonight, and I don't expect us to lose this game. And I don't want to get knocked out of the Carabao Cup. I want to keep going it because, as you've rightly said, it is probably one of our only chances of winning a trophy this season. I do want to win this cup, but at the same time, I still think we should be able to win this game. Like, they've got some injuries, Palace. They actually have got some injuries. I mean, Elise isn't fit. He's such a key player for them. Yeah. So we should be able to get at them, I think, even with some of our key players missing. And I do expect us to win still. There's no excuses. And I know, like you said, the Burnley game wasn't good watching for me. I was on the edge of my seat. One wrong move and we're walking away from that game thinking, 1-1 or something like that. And Ten Hag's got massive eyes on him. Like, one wrong move, seriously. Like, they hit the bar as well. So for me, I would like to see games out better than what we did there. I would like to at least have a 2-goal cushion, but we'll see.
That is it. I mean, Ricky, in terms of your lineup for United tonight, are you thinking, I know you said strong already, but there are some strong players that haven't had game time. So yeah. I'm looking at first team players who haven't had a lot this season already. Never mind people looking at this as a chance for the younger youth players. There's a lot of second string players who will be chomping at the bit if they get the opportunity tonight. A lot to prove within that squad, I think. Do you reckon they'll get the chance tonight? Obviously, we'll bring the team. Would you give them the chance tonight? Was more the question.
Certain players I would. I thought Hannibal played great at the weekend.
Did you start him again? Yeah.
100% I'd start him again. I thought he had a fantastic game. He was one of the bright sparks. Real smart passer of the ball. Palestri as well. I think he needs to
Yes,
come in and
agreed.
get another run. I thought it was a bit tough on him throwing him in at Bayern Munich. I think this Crystal Palace at home rather than Bayern Munich away gives the lad a chance. So those two for sure, I would give him a chance.
Yeah, at the back is a bit of a conundrum, obviously, Ricky. We're struggling for anyone to play at all, but would you bring Varane back in? Would you start him in this game? We talked about it before and thought bringing an injured player back when the game is just starting rather than the intensity of it halfway through. Would you start Varane and give him a few minutes in this, get him back to match sharpness for them games coming up in the league, or would you just leave him out and rest him the way he is?
We can't completely rest him. We just haven't got enough players to fill, good players to fill the bench and the back four up. So he's got to take some part, I think, even if it's sat on the bench. To be honest, I'm struggling to think about how many players are fit. I spoke to Beth yesterday and I gave a predicted team, and no disrespect, but I completely forgot about Harry Maguire. I mean, he's Harry Maguire in the squad.
He's back in the squad along with Varane and Lindelof.
Really, you should give Harry Maguire a run tonight, I think, and I think Johnny Evans.
Evans as well.
I don't think he was injured at the weekend, but he's not played much football.
He was just brought off because I think he was knackered.
It's gone
He looked knackered, didn't he?
Exactly.
He was drained, yeah.
So I wouldn't be against Johnny Evans being sat on the bench, and if he has to play half an hour for whatever reason, so be it. But rather than starting him and then maybe you've got him on there for 80 or 90 minutes again and we've got a game at the weekend. So I think we need Johnny Evans fit for the week. He's already in that category to me that we need him fit. You know
He's
what
the
I mean?
first player I've seen actually get his head on the ball and get it on target from a corner.
No,
I was gutted
years.
that we didn't get that
Gutted
decision.
for him, yeah.
Absolutely gutted, because we
Gutted
just don't
for him.
score from corners, do we? And that is a big
Casemiro's
problem
put
of
a few
ours.
in.
Casemiro eventually on crosses, yes, set pieces, but we are poor from set pieces, as we know. The delivery is shocking on its own. Creativity-wise, Ricky's talked about Hannibal there, Beth. Are you bringing our captain in tonight? You resting Bruno? How would you play it?
It's a tough one. I think Bruno...
Do you need leadership, basically? If there are players that haven't played a lot, do you still need your captain there, a bit of leadership?
I expect Bruno to start this game because he never doesn't play. He always plays. I can't remember the last time he
Ten Hag
was
actually said,
starting
didn't
from
he?
the bench.
He needs to play to keep him going. That's just the way he is.
It's like he's made of steel. He just never touch wood. Obviously, he just can play every single game. I wouldn't be against him being rested tonight. I wouldn't be against it, but I would expect him to play. And if it was up to me, I would start him in the midfield. I would start a midfield three of Amrabat, Hannibal and Bruno. That would be my midfield three tonight going into the game. You can bring Bruno off if you've got...
You play Bruno next to Amrabat and then Hannibal further forward.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I think Bruno can play that role very nicely. I think he's more disciplined in that role, and I've seen him do it before at Old Trafford, and he's done it very well. I think you do need your captain there, and I would play him. I actually would. Rashford, on the other hand, wouldn't. I wouldn't play Rashford. Bruno's probably the only player that I think in that team that Eric Ten Hag does seem to consistently have, his starters like Casemiro, Bruno, Rashford. I think Bruno's the only one where I would be looking to start him tonight. Casemiro and Rashford, I'd give a rest.
Yeah, Darren Mulaney in with a super chat. Cheers, Darren. Get your questions in as well, everyone. If you've got any question in particular to any of us here on the panel, get them in. I would like to see a number 2 keeper to start. Maybe give Gore start and Palestra and Garnacho. Goalkeepers, Ricky. Are you one for changing keepers around for these type of games, or are you bothered? You bring in is keeping Anana in, or Bayindir coming in?
It's a tough one. I mean, obviously, Anana's had his little problems here and there, hasn't he? Obviously,
Do you think he was all right against Burnley? I thought he was quite solid.
Yeah, I
against
thought he did
Burnley.
well against Burnley. I think I'd keep the keeper in. I really would. Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
I'd bring Bayindir in.
You'd change it up.
The reason I'd bring Bayindir in, not because I've got any problems with Anana, because I've not. He's number one, of course he is. Anana's number one. But the reason why I'd bring Bayindir in is because Ten Hag clearly likes him. He's scouted him when he was at Ajax, when Ten Hag was at Ajax. He's scouted him for a long time now. He's always liked this keeper. He was playing very well at Fenerbahce, and there is a big chance that Anana goes to AFCON at some point this season. I don't want to suddenly find out if Bayindir's good or not when we need him in really important fixtures at a really crucial time. I think cup games like this, you can afford to bring the likes of Bayindir in and give him a run out. Old Trafford, playing with, getting used to playing with the team. I think it'd be good to bring him in just for this game.
Rory reiterates that in his super chat. Beth Bayindir got to get minutes with AFCON. When else are you going to get minutes? I understand that, I do. I just feel like it is early in the season, and
Nana plays again on Saturday. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if he's not playing.
yeah,
It's not as if it's a one game a week.
It pains me, Ricky, that the team is just constantly changing, because I don't think a manager can get a consistent. Oh, he definitely can't figure out a style of play if the players keep changing. Do you feel like it's an issue that he doesn't know his strongest side yet? Because I am fully in with him not knowing what his best team is yet.
I don't think it's that. I don't think it's that he doesn't know. I think he's not got, like he said, since he's been United manager, he's not had his, what he'd say is his strongest
That's how
11.
he answered
He's
my
not.
question
He's
the
not
other
had
day,
them fit. He's not had them fit. Like, we've got injuries. This is the problem.
Yeah.
I think, but
I mean,
I'm firmly in the boat that he doesn't know what his strongest team is, and even if he thinks he does, he's wrong.
that is a Ricky comment and half, that one. That is just right up Ricky's street, that one. Let's fresh air in. St. George open submarine window and let fresh air in. Cheers for that one, Colin. I have to check some of these, especially after our last.
oh yeah.
After our last show and the.
If anyone
sneaky,
remembers the build-up.
Yeah, sneaky comments. None of them again, please. None of them again, please. Ricky, Gay made his international debut for Palace over the international break.
Say that again, sorry.
Gay for Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
Made his international debut for England.
Yeah.
Decent players at Crystal Palace. We're hearing Edouard is possibly out with an injury tonight as well, which probably favours us. That big, strong centre forward. I would fear for the likes of Varane coming back, and I've seen issues with us before handling that type of player. Anyone in particular for you United should fare in that Palace side going in tonight? I mean, Elise is one that's been shouted out. We obviously seen the goal that he scored in the last minute that you talked about earlier on. Anyone to fear for you in particular now in this Palace side?
They've got a few dangerous players, haven't they? Have they still got the? Is he you're talking about Matete, the big centre forward?
Mateta.
Yeah.
He's a dangerous player. They've got a few dangerous players. Obviously, there's one or two. I think there's one or two missing. I don't know whether they're going to rest one or two as well. So I can't wait to see what their lineup is really, and then answer that question if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that is it. We will bring the teams as soon as it comes. I'll just double check to make sure that nothing has come through as yet.
I've seen one that looks.
Yeah,
I've seen one on Twitter that keeps going around, but I don't want to bring it up in case it's not right.
It's guess who at the moment. It is guess
usually
who.
Comes out a little bit earlier in cup matches, doesn't it, than it does in the league game.
I'd have thought. I mean, he's playing us at the moment because the Burnley one was a real tough one to sort of decide who was going to play, and we got it dropped on us live in the show, and it was like, oof. Yeah, okay. There's going to be plenty of convo and plenty of unhappy people in this one, but I just look at this game as a chance tonight. For Manchester United to really grab the momentum, like the previous Super Chat said, Rick, in terms of, you know what, go out and just express yourselves, try and do a few things. I'd have played Højlund just to see him bag a couple of goals, get his confidence up. That front line for you, Ricky, it's a big one for you now because there's players you like, there's players you dislike. A front three tonight for you, how would you go about it? Who are you putting in?
Picks itself for me, Palestri, Højlund and Martial. It's a League Cup tie. Let's give them a chance together. I think Højlund will start scoring more goals if Martial's on the pitch. And I've said this before. A lot of people might say, "Oh, he don't get loads of assists." It's not about that. It's about him being able to hold the ball up in the final third, so we end up playing better in the final third. And we keep the ball up there. We make more passes and we create more chances. And Martial's important for that. Whether he's scoring the goals or creating the goals, even it doesn't matter.
Yeah, when it comes to Højlund and Martial, I'm completely with you on that one. I would love to see them play together. I really would. And even if Højlund doesn't start tonight, which we're not sure yet, but it looks like he's probably not going to, I think Martial is going to play. And I think we've been thinking it's going to be a front three of Garnacho, Martial and Palestri. But even, even if they don't start together, which it looks like they're not going to, I would love it if Højlund came on while Martial is on the pitch, just to see them play together, because I think they'd actually benefit each other quite well. Like, Højlund runs the channels really well, he's really energetic, he's pacey, he gets into good areas. Martial holds the ball up, he's got good feet, he's always looking for the pass in the final third. I've always said he's our least greedy forward player, even though he's plays as a striker a lot for us. So I think they'd work well together, I really do. I would like to see them together. I completely, for once, agree with you on that one.
Yeah, I would be really interested. I would like to see Garnacho.
So would I, 100%.
I wanted to see the youthful, carefree forward line of Palestri, Garnacho and Højlund. It just excited me because of that fearlessness. Like I said, it's like...
I think Martial has to have a chance tonight, though, because he came on against Bayern.
He will get minutes.
Really looks really good, you know.
He will get minutes. My only concern with Martial is it's like when there's no pressure on, he performs. I need him to step up when we need him in a big game.
He came on against Bayern Munich.
I know, but the pressure was off.
Us.
There's no one was expecting anything. It was like we were dead in the water. And it was one of them games that the Bayern were toying with us. But I just want to see that directness back. I want to see him getting to the byline and actually doing what he used to do. Because like you said, Rick, are you happy with him going back out on the wing and not being a centre forward?
I'd be happy to play him on the left if Højlund's through the middle and Palestri's on the right. And I'm sure Martial would be happy just to play. I'd be happy with him on the left, but I also wouldn't mind like a 4-4-2 with him and Højlund through the middle up top. I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, well, I'll just let Beth read that team out now.
Is it out
She's
now?
got it in front of her. The team is out. Away you go, Beth.
So the team is Andre Onana in goal. You guys were correct. Keep him with his number 1. Amrabat as right back, we think.
Oh.
Varane, Maguire, Dalot, Casemiro, Hannibal and Mason Mount. Palestri, Garnacho and Anthony Martial. So both Bruno and Rashford have been rested. 7 changes in that team.
Who is on the bench yet? We'll have to find out.
We'll have to find out. But I did say I thought Amrabat was going to play at full-back. Ten Hag mentioned it when he bought him, that he can also play at full-back. We are in a desperate situation. The only options were playing Lindelof right-back and Dalot left-back, or Amrabat.
We haven't. That is another team that isn't confirmed yet.
Journalists have just put it out.
Actually, it's not confirmed. Well, we're saying that's probably more than likely the team. It isn't confirmed by the club, that's all. Because obviously on this show we bring you both. But I would expect, Amrabat at right back. God, give the guy a chance. Welcome to the club, left back, right back. He's a centre midfielder. God. Thoughts first of all, Ricky, on that team?
Not too bad, yeah. Obviously someone's got to play full back, so I'm not too.
He's getting the right.
You can't really think of anything else, can you? You got to remember Keano playing at right back in his early days at United, 2 or 3 games. So I've got no problem with him coming in at full back. Don't mind Maguire getting a game. Don't mind Varane getting a game. Dalot's obviously got to play left back.
What do you think of that midfield, Rick?
The only one who can. The midfield, little bit top heavy with attacking players for me. You've got Mount. Hannibal, and who was the other one?
Casemiro, wasn't it?
Was it Casemiro? I think it was Casemiro.
Yeah, we're just confirming it now, mate. It was Casemiro, wasn't it, Beth?
In that team?
Yeah. Obviously, I thought that team was confirmed. It's not confirmed yet. I thought it looked like it was confirmed.
Yeah, but it comes from a journalist, doesn't it? So you're thinking there's a good chance it's right.
We'll see.
If it is right, I'm just not happy that Mount. I would prefer to see Hannibal as the only attacking player in the midfield, like I've just spoken about him at Burnley.
It's interesting where Mount's going to actually play in this game. Is he going to have the Eriksen role again, a bit deeper? Because that's where he struggles.
I expect him to do that. I think Ten Hag's stubborn. We've talked about this. Even though it might have not worked the first couple of times he's played him, he's stubborn. I actually expected Eriksen to start tonight because he didn't get a minute at Burnley. So interesting that he doesn't.
I think we can have a relatively strong team considering who is coming back from injury. I wonder if Bayinde will be the cup keeper, says Jerome T. Green. Cheers for that, Jerome, mate. Get your comments in, get your questions in, and your supers, everybody. Let me know what you think about that team. If so, is Ricky disappointed that Jogging McTominay isn't started? That's come from one of our members.
Well, we don't know for sure that he isn't yet,
do you know what? I'd be really interested to see how we play without Bruno. Because I know a lot of people want to see it. So I'm interested to see it tonight.
Yeah, it's very strange that Bruno would not be in a team.
I think people might be asking for him to come on in the second half.
Honestly, I cannot see a starting lineup on the Ten Hag without Bruno Fernandes. I'd be amazed, but there is a first for everything, and well, I can guarantee he'll come on off the bench anyway.
Maybe that's why he's got midfield depth.
Is there not a bigger set up from the manager here as to saying to these other players, go out and prove to me? I've dropped the 2 big players. I've dropped Rashford. I've dropped Bruno. Go and show me, because if you don't, you know what's going to happen on Saturday, Ricky.
Yeah, well, you're still assuming that this is the correct team, aren't you? But if he has,
I hope it is now.
He's also not dropped him as such, has he? When it's a League Cup tie, it's about It's about resting players. You shouldn't be looking on it that players are dropped. And we just touched on McTominay there. And, you know, we've just beaten Burnley. We've kept it tight. We've kept a clean sheet, the first one for a long time. I know nobody's going to want to hear this whatsoever, but if McTominay doesn't play tonight, is he being rested for the weekend since he's just played? Why can't he play again if he's not going to play on Saturday? So that's an interesting one as well.
That is it. I mean, that midfield, Beth, is there any concern for you in that?
Yeah, there's a little bit of concern. I'm glad, to be honest, Casemiro's there because it adds some stability, you know, some leadership. It'll be interesting to see who's captain. I reckon it'll probably be Varane.
Yeah, I reckon it'll be Varane as well.
Will be Varane, but I'm assuming Amrabat will play as an inverted fullback and kind of wander into midfield a little bit.
He will naturally go into that role, won't he? Because he does like his inverted fullbacks, Ten Hag. So I'm thinking that might be what happens.
Hannibal, great opportunity. Like Ricky, I was happy with him when he played against Burnley. I think people over-exaggerated his performance a little bit. I thought he was good. I don't think it was anything to write home about. But he, especially, I think actually in like the last 10 to 15 minutes, he was really good. Put through some really nice passes and kept holding the ball well. So I'm excited to see Hannibal kind of build off that because, you know, he's only 20 years old, such a bright future, and actually impressed in pre-season as well. Mason Mount, you know, a lot of talk about him, number 7 shirt, a lot of money spent. Can he provide? Coming back from injury, I think a lot of eyes going to be on him tonight, and he is someone that needs to impress. So I'm excited to see him as well. I do think we will lack the cutting edge with creativity without Bruno, though, I have to say. I think he's really important to this team, and I might be wrong, but, you know, people have been asking for him not to play, certain people. Not
what creativity is that, Beth?
Most chances created in the whole league in the last 3 seasons.
We're not scoring enough goals, are we?
I know, but he created the most chances in the league in the last 3 seasons.
The problem we've had is we've just not had anyone to put the ball in the back of the net. That is the problem, and we're hoping that Højlund is that man. We're hoping that Martial can be back up to that. If that is the team, then, like I said before, you've got to look at Mason Mount, you've got to look at Hannibal, and you've got to look at Martial and the other forwards to put the ball in the back of the net.
We brought in players like Mason Mount to be able to help out in the midfield, contributing to...
Age-old saying, isn't it? Give the manager a headache.
Yeah.
Make him think about that selection, because you know with Ten Hag, when a player comes in that you don't expect to have any chance whatsoever, he trusts in that player.
Yeah.
Scott McTominay stopped Casemiro starting. Malacia stopped Luke Shaw playing at the start of last season. He gave him his chance of games. Obviously, Wan-Bissaka had to fight for his place back over Dalot over last season, and it improved players. You can get more. I feel like Rashford is the one that probably needs this more than any other player who's been playing recently. I think he needs some time out. I think Rashford... don't be surprised if Rashford comes on and scores tonight off the bench.
Oh, he always happens. It happens.
Substitute, he always scores off the bench. He's a master at it, coming off the bench and scoring. And then it's like, okay, he's going to start again at weekend.
Especially because his sort of, you know, I do think his pace has dropped off a bit recently, but that pace coming off the bench against tired legs, it is lethal. I hope Garnacho has a really good performance to put the cat amongst the pigeons today.
Honestly, if there's one player I want a performance out of tonight, it's Garnacho. I really want it. Ricky and Adam, you're both looking very handsome this evening from Rory. Thanks, Rory. And Rory again. The reason Bruno has the most chances created is due to the trigger-happy wingers firing from right, left and centre. I think what you're trying to allude to there, Rory, is Bruno playing a 5-yard pass and someone hitting it from 40 yards, claiming an assist or chance created. The chance created don't work like that. It's a bit different, a stat. I understand the assist one, when you can just flick one off your back heel and not realise it, and it goes to a player and you get the assist for it. It's a stupid stat. There are plenty of them out there, but another one, Ricky is a handsome man. They're loving Rickster tonight. I love it. Yes, I mean,
love Mason Mount to get a goal tonight.
I've backed Mount to score actually tonight. I did have Bruno getting a brace, but that's going to have to change if he doesn't start. I had Garnacho and Mount both scoring a goal. I just feel like who in that midfield is going to get you the goals? That's what I'm worried about. Because if the forward line are struggling, our midfielders have always come up trumps. You look at Casemiro and Bruno this season as our scorers. It's like, wow.
I actually think Palestri on the right wing will be very creative going down that right hand side. I've been happy with him in his little cameos. I'm glad he's getting a start if he starts. Obviously, the team should be coming out now, 7 o'clock.
Should be out now, shouldn't it?
So have a little look for that.
Now.
Garnacho as well. I think he can be a little bit greedy sometimes, but he passes more than what Rashford does. So I do think, and Martial holds the ball up well and he's creative. So I think he will get service too. And so I don't think it's that we can't score goals. I think there's players there that can definitely do it, and hopefully we see that happen. I don't think we should just be a one-man team relying on Bruno Fernandes, and I don't think we will be that. Mount's got the 7, he's been brought in for a lot of money. He should be able to fill that kind of void in midfield. Hannibal looks good when he played against Burnley, putting some nice passes through. As you say, Casemiro can be a goal threat, so I do think we can get it, Palace. I don't think it's the be-all and end-all on Bruno Fernandes. When
I talk about creativity, Beth, I talk about players who pass the ball around well and understand that they need to give short passes, not necessarily to create a chance, but that we keep moving the ball around the way City play. I hate saying that, but keep passing it to each other. You can be a creative player without, in fact, don't know if he's watching, whoever it was, probably not, but somebody said to me on Twitter today, I said, what a great game Hannibal played, and somebody said to me, what do you mean he had a great game? He didn't score or create a goal. So obviously some people think that you can't play well without scoring or creating a goal. I thought Hannibal had a great game, really looks after the ball well, picked the right pass, and I described that as creativity. A lot of people think creativity is the person who puts the final ball through. If you hark back to the great days of the great Barcelona side with the three midfield players, Xavi, Iniesta and Messi, a lot of rat-a-tat-tat-tat football, loads and loads of passes. But they were all creative players, and you wouldn't pick out at the end of the game and say, well, he was the one who played the pass that scored the goal. Do you understand what I mean? It's creative football amongst the team that I want to see. Lots of passes.
That is a confirmed team lineup, by the way, now, everybody. Yep. Lifestyle Tube says, Ricky, you beautiful man.
Stop it now. You're making it up.
Let's just play better football without Bruno and Rashford, says Just Kieran. I mean, honestly, without Bruno doesn't get dropped out of this team for me, but I understand the rest aspect of it, like Ricky said before, but I understand Vicky's
Varane's captain as
look on it. Varane getting a captaincy tonight, that is a good shout. We called that one as well. So, I mean, we're good to get the bench up as well soon, so we can see
that,
who is actually on the bench. We'll let Beth look that one up.
I'll have a look for it.
Another super chat here.
Got the bench.
From Legendary Villain. Go and read that bench first, Beth, please.
The bench is Baynder, Heaton, Evans, Lindelof, Bruno Fernandes, Gore, Van der Beek, Højlund and Rashford.
Okay, options
so
in
virtually
defence.
Everyone who's been left out is on the bench, yeah?
Eriksen's not on the bench.
Oh, Eriksen's not on the bench, is he?
No, is there an injury? Maybe someone will ask that question in the post-match press conference.
He didn't play against Burnley, so that's interesting. I thought there must be a reason why he's not playing tonight.
Marcus should get criticised, but so should Bruno. Things you say about Rashford applies to Bruno. If Bruno doesn't long balls and 1 out of 10 comes off as a chance created, he doesn't play simple passes. Well, he does. I think you're going in, and cheers for the super chat, mate. Rashford, I mean, you look at Bruno's energy, you look at the miles he puts in. Let's just go to basics and the yards. Bruno runs more than anyone else in that team, so he is different to Rashford in that aspect. He leads from the front in terms of dragging that team attitude-wise over the line. So, yeah, let's ease off that, because he was the match winner the other day, and no one was complaining about that Hollywood pass that Johnny Evans made, was there?
So I just realised as well, there's no McTominay in the squad either.
Nope.
Okay.
Wonder why.
Interesting. Maybe some rested players.
Yeah.
I mean, he's brought Johnny van der Beek and Gore in to the bench. There's your 2 midfielder options.
I'm surprised you'd have 2 keepers on the bench, though.
I know what. Ricky's got that wry smile, that little grin on his face.
Starting for Palace.
Ricky's thinking that McTominay's been rested for the Premier League at weekend. That's what Ricky's... Look at him giggling over there.
You can't think he played well against Burnley, Ricky, please. You can't
kept a clean sheet, that was the target.
You can't think McTominay played well against Burnley.
Kept a clean sheet, that was the target.
I thought you had players that can pass the ball well.
I do.
He doesn't pass the ball well, does he?
He doesn't pass it great, no.
Oh, that's come from the goat's mouth himself. So you got to take that as gospel, everybody.
It's because he's over 6 foot.
There are other players. There are other players who don't pass it any better though, that don't get picked on, and that's what I don't understand.
Ricky is like a cool uncle, love him, and Adam still looks like Roy Keane. No, cool uncle would probably get that, but no, I'm not having Roy Keane. Come on, maybe it's the air, I don't know. But I wish I played like Roy Keane. God, I'd take Roy Keane in this team right now. Good God.
You can just see Henderson.
Scott made more interceptions than anyone versus Burnley. Yeah, but what did he do with it once he got it? Bring me that stat up as well, please, Robert McCormack.
Sometimes you just intercept it without getting it under control. It's just preventing it going to their forwards when you intercept it. So it is an important stat, whatever happens next.
I think what we're looking for is the fact that you can do one part of the game, but you do need to have that vision to play.
Yeah, it's great if you can do everything. Of course it is. Of course it is. But you know, they all had a job to do on Saturday. That's all I'm saying. You know, and they got exactly what they were after, a clean sheet, and they also thought that they would nick a goal, and they did nick a goal.
Eze's not on the bench for Eze's on the bench for Palace.
Yeah.
Oh, can we get the Palace team? Can we read that out?
Have we got the Palace team,
I've got
please?
it here. Palace team is Henderson, Klein, Holding, Richards, Mitchell, Ducore, Reedwald, Sculp, Rak Saiki, Ayew, Schlupp, Ayew and Mateta. Their team is got. I really like that Ducore that they have. I think he's good.
He's an excellent midfielder and was a steal last season. One of their players of the season in midfield. That's the type of player United probably.
I did a show saying I think we should look at him.
Yeah, United should have been looking at him. There was a few midfielders last summer that went under the radar for Manchester United. We ended up buying Casemiro, so everyone was happy in the end. But Ducore was an excellent player. The Palace fans were very happy with him, and they had him up there. I think up there for one of their players of the season, definitely. But Schlupp. Again, decent forward player. We had, was it Luke on before on the Twitter space? He was concerned that they were going to have Nathaniel Klein in the back, and he is at the back. And he thinks that Manchester United's wingers is a point of attack and a weakness for Crystal Palace in that team. Nathaniel Klein, is he still going, man? He's doing well to keep going. He's been going forever, hasn't he?
I know. It's like Ashley Young.
Word. He is. He's like another Ashley Young. Ricky. Nathaniel Klein, only joking, mate.
The starting 11 we have on the graphics is wrong, guys. It says we've got Bayern in goal.
Yeah, Palace must be 7 changes. Amrabat right back, Dalot left back. I think someone's just picking up on our graphic, that's all. But I think you know the basis of the team. I think once it starts and we see the movement around the pitch, we'll know exactly where everyone is playing. So, yeah, I think we'll just take it from that point, to be honest. As soon as we see it, we'll see everyone set up. I mean, what was it, the game against Brighton, when McTominay ended up on the right wing? You just don't know what's going to happen with a Ten Hag team and how he's going to set it up.
Be interesting for sure. I'm excited to be back at Old Trafford. It feels like a while.
Yeah, it does. It does. And now we've got 4 games in a row here at Old Trafford. Would rather Evans in defence instead of slow Maguire. He runs like he has a lump on his back, says Darren Malena. You said you'd rest Evans for weekend, Vicky, and not play him tonight.
Yeah, he didn't see the game out, did he? And like I actually said, I hope he's on the bench because we might just need him at some stage, and he is on the bench. But he's definitely been rested. I'll be amazed if he doesn't play in the league game at the weekend. So I think that's the main reason. He's played on Saturday. It's only Tuesday. I think maybe if it was I was about to say if it was Wednesday, he might have played. But then obviously the next game Saturday straight after that. So I think Johnny Evans was bound to get rested. He's not played much football for a long while.
Yeah, that is. I mean, another players in that pitch there. I'm looking for people to look out for. For me, I mean, Casemiro, I think he's solid enough there. It's going to be interesting how we adapt a brand new defence, brand new midfield and brand new forward line. And that's my sort of concern in this. It is a team that's never ever played together in all 3 areas of the park, up front, midfield and defence. So
that's always a problem. The
cohesion is going to play a factor in that as well, Beth. We may have to accept a shaky 15 first minutes while we get to grips with it. Or it could just take off.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I'm really excited to see the forward line, Martial, Garnacho and Pellistri. I think it's the first time that forward line's ever started together. Probably first time that defence and midfield have started together as well, like you've said. And I think there is certain players in there that are really looking to kind of get themselves into the starting 11. Garnacho is one of them. Obviously, minutes have dropped. Martial as well used to be always in the starting 11 when he was fit. Højlund's kind of come in and taken over. You've got Mason Mount, who's obviously, you know, been injured. A lot of expectation on him. He's one that can come in. I know Amrabat's playing out of position, which is really unfortunate, but still, full debut at Old Trafford is important. And to be honest with you, Joe, he really needs a good game. Really needs a good game. Harry Maguire. I know we've all written him off completely, and you know he shouldn't be at United. He shouldn't be. He should have gone to West Ham in the summer. But he needs a good game after everything that's happened, and let's hope he has one because it benefits Manchester United, doesn't it?
It does. Vicky, Amrabat, for you, I know he's not playing in the right position tonight, but intrigued to see how he plays and how he performs. It's an interesting stat that me and Beth were talking about a couple of weeks ago. We talk about, I'm not a fan of jack of all trades. I don't like utility players. I like a master of one, and you know exactly where he's going to play. We did talk about him being a master of one, and all he's done is play out of that position so far. But 1 assist and 1 goal in 2 years. Just a solid defensive midfielder. Is that a player that you like? Someone who just knows that role and is a master of that role, and you know exactly what you're getting from him, rather than just being shifted around all the time? Is that the type of player that United need in this team?
Yeah, you definitely need a player like that, but I don't think you can go off that just by saying he's only got 1 goal and 1 assist in 2 seasons.
And in that start, he hasn't moved from that same position in them years. He's not been moved around anywhere.
There's not a lot wrong with that. You would hope to get 1 or 2 more goals out of a player like that, but like I said before, if the team's playing well and if you're passing the ball around, it doesn't really matter who plays the final pass or who actually puts the ball in the net. And I'm sure Amrabat, for his club side, has done a really important job holding in the midfield, as he did at the World Cup. I saw him in the World Cup. I've never yet seen him in the flesh, so even though he's playing right back, I'm looking forward to seeing him in the flesh tonight. And again, even though he's playing at full back, I'll give more of an opinion on him in the show after the game in the fans forum.
I know Declan Rice was full of praise from the final with Fiorentina for Amrabat as well. Do you know?
I'm going to be honest. What I would have done on Amrabat's Old Trafford debut, I would have played Lindelof right back, Dalot left back, and give Casemiro a rest. I really would. You know, Casemiro's I know he played a lot of games for Madrid and everything, and he's always had a good injury record, but he is 31. Amrabat is an out-and-out CDM, like you said. Surely, I would have played Lindelof right back, Dalot left back, and put Casemiro to the bench and put Amrabat in as CDM. That's what I would have done. Especially because, you know, if Amrabat comes in now and he has a dodgy game, it's like he's just starting off.
It's not fair on him, really, is it? Jamie B with the super chats. You heading straight to the game after this, Adam? We all are. Yes, straight down the road, past the Blaze. Listen to a couple of chants on the way past, and take our perch ready for the game. I mean, I'm looking forward to this more than anything in terms of how this team sets up. It's like that whistle will blow, and then I'll be looking at it going, I'm still trying to figure it out, because you've always got that intrigue. Is like, yes, we set it up on a graphic a certain way, but it can always change as soon as the game kicks in. Which one of the fullbacks is going to be inverted? We're guessing strongly that it is going to be Amrabat, because it's usually only one. Have you noticed that as well? But Dalot does it quite well. I think Dalot's been playing really well recently.
He has. And he's had to.
And you know what? He exactly that. He's needed to, and he stood up when he's needed to be counted. You're a Dalot fan as well, Vicky. Yeah. You've been backing Dalot for years, even when he was getting dog's abuse. I remember outside St James's Park. He had a nightmare against St Maximum, just coming through. But you've seen something in Dalot there that I think Ten Hag has realised straight away. What are his qualities? Why is Dalot now number one for you in this team?
It's mainly his calmness, his ability on the ball, his reading of the game. He's a quality player in that respect. Good passer of the ball. He sees passes. I love the way he sees angled passes into the forward's feet. And obviously, we've seen him recently 2 or 3 times go past the fullback when he gets into the final third. Goes past the fullback and puts a cross in brilliantly. Puts some great crosses in. I think he's just a top quality player, and his defensive side of his game is getting stronger as well. I've seen him have some really strong games against some good players, and really put them
Saka
on.
being one of them against Arsenal.
Yeah, great game.
Shouted out, superb.
Left back there as well.
Bingham says probably 3-2-4-1 formation. That with the inverted winger would play that system. Amrabat and Casemiro was holding. I would expect that to be, and the other 5 in front of them with the 3 centre backs. I can see that possibly at times tonight. Do you always agree with Do not always agree with Beth. Regulon, eyes emoji, but that was spot on about Amrabat and Lindelof. Getting praise there from Sebastian with a super chat, Beth, about bringing Lindelof in and resting Casemiro.
Yeah, I would have done that. I'm assuming he doesn't think Reguilon's great then. I was backing Reguilon on the last show. It's not as if I think Reguilon's like absolutely unreal, but I do think he's come in and done very well.
He's injured though, isn't he?
He's a miss tonight, yeah.
He's injured.
Yeah, I seen him hold his hamstring at Burnley. I just assumed that he would automatically be out. Super chats are still flying in. I'll get through these. Nicholas Walker says, I think it'll work out more like a 3-4-3 with Amrabat supporting Casemiro, allowing Hannibal and Mount to push up, or even a diamond. Oh, God, the diamond sends shivers down every United fan's spine, especially after that Brighton performance.
Can I just say, I think we've got, for the first time since I can remember, we've got 2 actual proper wingers in the team. You know, Palestra, we're not playing players out there who are not wingers.
It's very true.
You know, and he's
very true.
Palestri's a winger, Garnacho's a winger, so hopefully they'll keep chalk on the boots and really stick to the lines and stretch the pitch. Do you know what I mean? So then if you've got Hannibal as a number 10, hopefully he can find them and give them some good passes, maybe even get them in behind the full-backs, and then 2 sitting, I hope. But that means Mason Mount's got to be really, really on his game, and he's got to sit there really next to Casemiro. We can't afford to have him breaking, as has happened time and time again, like Wolves did here, and we've only got one midfield player trying to stop him.
Yeah, that is it. Ricky taking me back to my non-league games there.
I'm watching.
Chalk on the boots.
Yeah.
Love that.
Get some chalk on your boots.
School. Also, good to see you, Ricky. I hope Spain was nice. Not sure if you heard. Not sure if I heard your opinion on the Sancho situation. Do you want him gone? In brackets, I do. That was a super chat from Sebastian. Ricky, I mean, you love Sancho, I know, but are you one of them? Can't go above the manager. This is just getting ridiculous now.
It is getting ridiculous. I am gutted about it because I do think he's a top player, and I do think he's been underused, and I do think he was probably feeling downtrodden and feeling worthless, if you like. So I do feel sorry for him. The things about what have been said, I don't know what's been said. You know, so if it's true that the manager has sold completely barefaced lies about him, which is what...
He's been late to training a lot of times, and he's been up playing FIFA till 3 a.m. and not turned up for training on time. Well,
I don't know if that's true or not. All I'm doing is reading it. You've probably read it somewhere, haven't you?
And even if you're not being used as a player, I'm sorry, you don't start going sulking around going, "Oh, I'm not playing then. I'm not playing. Oh, I've not been used. I'm feeling rubbish."
When I was playing,
train harder and be better. Then you'll get used.
When I was playing centre forward for a team that got to a cup final, the Champions Cup final of the Northwest. It's a fantastic cup to play in. 2,000 people at the final. I got dropped for the final. When you're an amateur player, you can do this. When I got dropped for the final, I just walked out of the dressing room and never went back. He can't do that. I was playing every week, but the manager's mate was a famous wrestler at the time, and he was on the telly every week, this fella, and he put him in the team for me because he was his pal. That's how I understand how Sancho's feeling.
But Eric Ten Hag,
but he's a professional player.
Manager.
He can't just walk out and go and sign for another team. That's what I did.
Do you reckon Sancho was playing as well as you did and then build up games?
No chance.
Eric Ten Hag is a professional manager. He's not got some sort of personal agenda against Sancho. He's not come out and randomly lied about one player. It's just not the case. It's just not the case.
We know that there's a big issue behind the scenes at Manchester United. Ten Hag needs to stay in situ for as long as possible till the culture has completely changed, and this is just part of the process. He's talked about this process forever and a day. I don't think there's another manager out there right now that United can bring in. Ten Hag needs to stay.
Ask Ricky if he can play left back.
Yes,
I do believe he should apologise. I do believe that, and I do believe it's gone on too far. And he is a pro footballer. He has got to stay there. So he's got to start trying to want to play and train with his teammates. So he does have to apologise. But again, if he feels hard done by, I understand.
But sometimes
I understand
you are
how he
in life.
feels, but he still needs to apologise.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, in with a super chat. Team selection is annoying. People should play in their right positions. Amrabat should play in the middle with Kassé. Get Lindelof to play at right back and Dalot at left back. No wonder we have no pattern of play. Another one back in what you said there, Beth, regarding Lindelof making it easy for us. I mean, this system, like I said, don't judge it just yet. It could easily move into an attacking three at the back, an out position, Amrabat just fills in. It could easily move that way. So it's not FIFA, it's not Championship Manager. They're not going to play rigidly to them positions, everyone. It is just a graphic. So let's just see how Ten Hag tweaks it in the game. It may change and it may just move around a little bit, I think. I think through the game, depending on the situation of the game as well, that's when you see a lot of changes in formation. But we've got enough on the bench. I think Ten Hag is hoping that he doesn't have to use his bench. I don't think he wants to play Bruno tonight. I think Bruno comes on if it's possibly 1-0 and it's tight and he wants to finish the game off. If it gets to 2-0, I can't see Bruno Fernandes coming on this pitch or Marcus Rashford.
No, I agree with you. I think it'd be nice if we could win this game without having to bring them on, but I think the rare times that we have not played, I think the only other time I can remember us not playing Bruno and Rashford was against Leipzig in the Champions League with Ollie. And were we drawing that game? I don't know. I think we were drawing that game. We brought him on. We ended up winning 4 or 5-1 after half time. And Rashford scored a hat-trick, I think it was. So like you said, off the bench, they can change games. I hope we don't have to. And you know what? If we don't, I'll have Ricky telling me all week, see, love, we played really well without Bruno in the team. So obviously I'm watching the game with Ricky tonight.
We can win without playing well. Let's hope we win and play well.
We need a performance as well. Very interesting super chat from the fuzzy one here. Who would be the United stand five-a-side team? So let's go with our positions that we played in our heyday. Okay. So Ricky, you're centre forward.
Yeah, but I played centre-half as well when I got a bit older.
But you're not as good as me at centre-back, so you can
go
up front.
Centre-forward, yeah.
I would go at centre-back. Beth?
Right back or right wing?
So in a five-a-side team, that would probably put you...
Right wing back.
Right wing.
Defence. Would you go right wing?
Could go right wing.
Was you fast?
Come on, I was very fast. I was 100 metres. Have you seen how short I am?
Right, so everyone, we're going with Ricky as the big target man, the Weghorst up front. I'll be at the back. I'll claim Vidic.
You just need my right footy crosses, Ricky, on your head.
That's how I play.
Straight on my head, darling.
Our producer in the studio, Greg, says he was a great goalkeeper.
Oh, brilliant.
So he can go in goal.
That's what you need.
So we need another midfielder. I think Mark plays midfield.
Yeah, that'll be
it.
I've seen him play in midfield at Old Trafford. So we've got Mark, I would say Mark and Beth in midfield. Ricky's up front.
You're at the back.
I'm at the back.
Greg's in goal.
We've got Greg in goal. It only leaves Ryan and Faz left to fight it out for the other defensive spot. I'm guessing Ryan gets there through size alone, being 6'6". Dominant sort of physical presence at the back. To be honest, I think Faz is too small, isn't he, to be a centre back.
I think Faz plays midfield. I think he's told me that.
Faz is a midfielder. I think he'd suit midfielder better actually. So it's between you and Faz to battle it out for sub midfield then. So.
Oh come on, I start over Faz.
Yeah, Beth's called it. Beth's called it. So there is your. Oh, we've got Ginge as well. Don't forget, Ginge Park.
Ginge's too big for us now.
Yeah, he's a sideman.
Before you know it,
now.
11-a-side team.
Shit, we could actually. We have got enough. Roy Keane goalie. I'm not like.
To be fair, Faz has played with pros.
Betting on Martial scoring a hat-trick tonight. Great player when he is on form, says Bradley.
Ask Faz if he plays like he plays FIFA.
Is that garbage?
Yeah.
Right, he's not in the team then. I don't care about all them FIFA clowns. Not for me, that's too old school for that lark. Noah with another super chat says, we need to calm down about Amrabat, Lindelof and Reguilon desperately needed breaks. Cass and Dalot do as well. We have too many injuries. Calm down. We are quite calm, actually. We're just trying to figure out how we're actually going to play. Interesting. Like I said, we're just waiting to see when that whistle blows, where everyone sets up at. I think that's the intriguing one. But, yeah, Confident levels, Rick. I mean, you've seen the team. How are you feeling
I
now?
like the look of the team. Like I said, I'm a little bit nervous about how they're going to operate in midfield. I loved Hannibal's role at the weekend. I'd like him to stay in that role. If he does play that role, as I said, Mason Mount's got to be more, you know, he's got to stay back a little bit more and help out with Casemiro. He needs to do that. So if he doesn't do that, I'll be concerned. If Casemiro's left on his own, if Mount sticks to that position, I think we've got a good side out there.
It's an interesting
and
one. So we've changed the graphic up, Rick, to it's basically a 3-4-2-1. Martial spearheading with Mount and is it Palestri there? Mount and Hannibal behind him. And then you've got wing-backs in Garnacho and Palestra, two holding midfielders in Amrabat and Casemiro, and then the three centre-backs, Dalot, Varane and Maguire. That sort of team, that's not going to get overrun in midfield, is it?
No.
But you are then reliant on them wingers doing the defensive work, Palestra and Garnacho. That's a learning curve for them two alone, because they are predominantly attacking wingers.
Yeah, I won't be against them trying that, and I do think they do, particularly Palestri, and I'm not having to go at Garnacho for that. I just feel as though I see Palestri doing a lot of effective defensive work myself.
I think, when you're trying to prove to the manager that you start games, there's no better way to do it than giving everything, tracking back and getting forward. Manager will love it if you track back and work hard for the team. And I think as a young player, you come in and you do that because you want to impress.
Here's a question for both of you. Then Gary Neville picked up on this as well. I was watching the North London derby at weekend, and Ange Postecoglou has been praised for how Tottenham are playing at the moment. I think we can all say that they are doing well, but it's now an acceptance that defenders, fullbacks, have to deal with wingers one-on-one. That's the modern day fullback. And Gary Neville, as we know, craved David Beckham tracking back. He wasn't the quickest, but they worked as a team, like you said, Rick. Beckham always tracking back. Neville always supporting Beckham the opposite way. It doesn't work like that now. So they went down to the touchline. I don't know if anyone else picked up on it. He was told, that's the Forest player they just bought Spurs, the winger, the left winger.
Brennan Johnson.
Brennan Johnson, yes. Brennan Johnson was told, and it was heard on the sideline, not to track Saka back, hold your position up front. And he's been praised for the way that it is, but it just shows that Tottenham have gone to the Emirates for the first time, not been defensive and solid, and gone at Arsenal and got their best result in years there.
Udogie did get a bit of a hard time.
Get a runabout.
But he did well.
But the managers are telling these defenders now that you're going to have to be brave. It's one-on-one. You deal with it, Ricky. I know that's not in your thingy, but can you accept that?
Well, it's if the fullback gets forward, it's all right saying one-on-one, but if the opposite fullback gets forward to support his winger, you as a winger, I can't believe that you can be told not to track him back and then end up 2-on-1 against.
And it's Saka.
Udogie was getting forward as well.
He was.
He was the furthest man forward at one point.
Is that just craziness, or can you see the method in that?
It certainly worked for him. They got away with, a point at the Emirates is a great point for him.
I do believe that you do definitely need a player like Bissouma and Maddison in midfield to actually be able to hold the ball and be creative with that ball. Confident to pass the ball around the back for the system to work, though.
Yeah.
Because that was the constant get out of jail. There was always an in-ball and they would accept it no matter what pressure they were under.
Madison nearly.
Exactly.
Jesus should have scored.
That was a game
got taken off him.
That's the risk-reward football that they play. That could have been game over for Spurs.
So that's us. It's back
in one moment. That's it. I mean, I'm still livid that Garnacho's goal was chalked off.
We've got a quote from Ten Hag here, Adam, which I think is quite interesting. On Amrabat, he said, he's a midfielder, but he's previously played as a fullback a while ago. He can play there and he's a warrior. He'll fight for the badge. He's someone who will play where his manager needs him. So I think that's good praise for Amrabat going into the game. Also, Faz put a super chat in saying, I'm calling HR.
Zulfi says, ask Ricky what the best level he has managed at. I see a competitor for Pep and Klopp's job in Ricky. Why hasn't he pursued coaching? You done any coaching, Ricky?
I've only coached kids teams, kids teams.
They're the best ones to do. Ricky, do you think Erik ten Hag would love to have Dan James in the squad? Love the format. Way to go, lads and lasses. Don't forget Beth is here as well. United to win the cup.
You tell him.
That was from Ali. Cheers for that, Ali, mate. Ricky, Dan James, do you think Ten Hag would like him in his team?
Who's to say? He might do. He might do. I don't know. He's,
You never know.
Yeah,
You never know.
I switched it on the other week. Was it last weekend? I switched it on when they were playing, and he came on as a sub and he got 2 assists. So he looked pretty sharp to me.
Well, that's it. We do need to get to the game, everybody. So we're going to wrap up the show now. But before we go, thank you for everyone being in here with us. Over 15,000 in here. Mark needs to get his ass in gear then, doesn't he, producer? We've got a game to get to.
I was about to ask you, Adam, who are you most looking forward to watch?
To watching tonight? I wanted to see it. I've been looking forward to seeing Amrabat since we signed him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do believe he's going to play more of a central role in this, though. But yeah, over 15,000 again, guys. Just bigging that up there.
Especially on a Tuesday night, people getting home from work, people sorting the kids out. Thank you everyone for tuning in.
But Ricky, score prediction for tonight. What you got? You hate score predictions, but
I hate
we're
score
changing
predictions, but I'll go 3-1 United.
Oof, confident Rick Star. I like that. He's only one off me. Beth, what was yours?
I've said it in the group chat. I've been saying it all day. 3-1 United. I've got the same.
And I'll top trump that with a 4-1 for myself.
Wow.
Guys, quickly, throw your score predictions in that chat for me. Let me know what you think.
You think we're going to score
confident
4
right now.
goals?
I do.
Go on, Adam.
I just feel like tonight's the night where we express ourselves. And we've never scored more than 4 goals in a game under Ten Hag. When are we going to break that 5 barrier? Honestly, it's like we have the poorest goal scoring and goal difference ever. Newcastle scored more Premier League goals in one game than we have all season.
Jody said 8-0 United.
3-0, 2-9. 2-9. 3-0. 4-0 United, 3-0, 2-0. The confidence is up. I think having Ricky in the studio and bigging up United has definitely put people in confident mood for the game. 100%. I'm just waiting for the signal before we can wrap up the show, guys.
Adam's itching to get to Old Trafford.
Yeah, they do realise that we have to get our seats, and it is carnage outside Old Trafford.
Especially on cup games.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nightmare. It is a nightmare.
It feels like the first proper, winter night at Old Trafford. I know it's not winter, it technically is autumn now, but it feels like the first proper winter night. And
that is it. We're going to head our way there now because Mark is ready. Please do fly across to Mark. He is live now for the watch-along people. Be interested to see what his score prediction is for tonight as well. Tune across there. Now, Ricky, pleasure as always. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks a lot, mate. Enjoyed it.
Beth, again, cheers.
Yep, join us on the forum after Mark's final score. It's me, Faz, Ricky and Mods tonight, so make sure you join us over there as well.
Love it. Hopefully we're talking of another win for United. Guys, super chats, comments, everyone who's been in the room live with us, thank you very much. Do fly across to Mark. Hit that like button on your way out as well, people, and we'll see you for the forum after the game. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Enjoy the match.